The 77th edition of the 628 nautical mile Rolex Sydney Hobart yacht race got underway on December 26. A fleet of 109 yachts enjoyed blue skies and a 10 to 15 knot north to northeasterly breeze that strengthened once out of Sydney Harbour, allowing teams to hoist their spinnakers and deliver a fantastic sight.
A relentless examination of determination and endeavour, evoking the true spirit of sailing. Returning this year for its 77th edition, an ocean race like no other, the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race 2022. A spectacular Sydney Harbour greeted 109 yachts and their sailing teams, who are preparing to push the limits on the 628 nautical mile journey down the east coast of New South Wales and across the unpredictable Bass Strait to Tasmania.
More than anything, the Rolex Sydney Hobart's an adventure. It's about 630 odd nautical miles of challenging conditions. It's about friendships that you form and you carry on for years. It's a cornerstone of yachting.
As is tradition, the start gun sounded at 1 p.m. and the fleet set off on the Great Race South. Renowned for its exciting starts, this year certainly did not disappoint. The 100-foot Maxis duelled for the lead in an incredibly tight battle, which resulted in penalty turns for both Andoo Comanche and Hamilton Island Wild Oats, leaving Law Connect to take bragging rights as the first yacht through the Sydney Harbour heads. Whilst the prevailing weather system augurs well for the larger boats, who will enjoy a fast run to Hobart, the smaller yachts face a potentially greater challenge in the race for overall victory and the coveted Tattersall Cup. A forecast shift in weather in the second half of the race threatens some testing conditions.
I'm really hoping that we get there before the southwesterly or southerly breeze arrives and we have to beat in 40 knots. That would be unpleasant.
After weeks of preparation, simply crossing the start line is considered a success, despite it marking the beginning of an even more intense and demanding chapter that only ends crossing the finish line in Hobart. Join us again for more updates from the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race.
This is your weekly sailing highlights show, The World on Water, December 30, 2022. It has been coming for a while, and both American Magic and Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli have got very close. But today the America's Cup holders, Emirates Team New Zealand, gave a festive reminder as to why they are such a potent force in the Cup world as they foil and dominate. A straight-out 100% record across 36 tacks and 33 jibes by their boat 2, AC40.
Marcus, thanks for chatting with us. It was our first day with the AC40 number 2. Out of the box, you guys were bashing manoeuvres and not much air. We counted 34 tacks and 19 jibes in just a little over 2 hours with some downtime. Not bad for the first day with a new boat.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're really happy. We had a nice day, just 10 knots or so, and managed to go straight into manoeuvres and tacking and jibing. So yeah, really happy for the first day for commissioning the boat.
Fantastic. Now, was the whole day spent in autopilot mode, or did we have a little fiddle of manual?
You know, we were in autopilot all day.
Autopilot all of the day? Cool. The sails you've got on the boat, are they for that boat, or are they switching between at the moment?
We will switch between, but that's one design J2 we had up today.
Copy, and the main from?
The main is an LEQ.
LEQ main. Cool. Your first impressions is obviously your first go on the handlebars, as it were. What's it like as a boat?
No, it's pretty amazing. You're just fiddling with a few dials and buttons. But yeah, once you're up and going, you can't even really feel the speed. You have a little touchdown and a whole lot of spray comes up and you're like, oh yeah, we're moving. It's a really awesome boat. It's quite intuitive, like sailing any boat really, and especially with autopilot. And I had a great time.
Oh, fantastic. Hey, thank you very much for your time. We're really loving watching what you do with the boats. Keep it up.
Yeah, thank you.
Dramatic, fast, exhilarating. The 2022 edition of the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race continues to deliver with style. Overnight and throughout the second day, the fleet has enjoyed the thrill of some exceptional downwind open ocean sailing as they push on down the eastern seaboard of Australia towards Tasmania and the finish line in Hobart. A sustained tailwind, expected to build into the evening, has ensured an intense battle in the pursuit of the Tattersall Cup, awarded to the overall winner. For the 4 100-foot maxes led by Andoo Comanche, but all intent on being first to the finish, the wind direction and strength has kept them tantalisingly close to race record pace. While that time may now be out of reach, the quartet looks set to converge at Tasman Island just after dark. The stage is set for an exciting line honours finish in the historical city of Hobart. Join us again for more race updates from the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race.
Encouraging diversity and inclusion in the helming and racing of the thoroughbred of One Design Yachting. The Women's Helm Regatta is held on the Swan River and hosted by Royal Freshwater Bay Yacht Club and the WA International Dragon Class Association.
Today we have the Women's Dragon Helm Regatta at Royal Freshwater Bay Yacht Club. It's a great day to get females sailing on the Dragons and to experience a new fleet of boat and to inspire women in sailing.
Enables us to get women who have been sailing in other classes to come and experience sailing a Dragon class, which we think is the thoroughbred of sailing. And having had that experience, it means that they might be more willing to either step up into a crewing position or even take on purchasing a Dragon and becoming one of our fleet of 25 here at the Yacht Club.
We had a lack of diversity in the fleet and we wanted more women involvement in the fleet. So this initiative is to allow women to helm the Dragons. A lot of them are crew. We have a number of boat owners that are women, but it's essentially to get involvement in the Dragon fleet.
It was just a fabulous experience, first of all for skippers and owners of boats to let me have a go, put their trust in me and just give me the opportunity. So to be skippering amongst some amazing skippers, and yes, I just found that it was, well, fabulous experience.
Boat ownership has been more of a male thing, so I think the more women get an opportunity to sail their own boat, they're probably more likely to think, oh, maybe I'll purchase a boat as well. And it's great to see other women helming, so it might inspire other women to get involved.
The wind is pretty low at the moment due to drop. That may determine whether or not we use kites for the first race. Well, the beauty of the Dragon is you can go 4 up, and we've shown the women are capable of helming and doing all parts of the crew. And the beauty of it is that you can get together teams and go and race on Dragons anywhere around the world, including the other side of Australia, and take up opportunities.
Spectacular.
Just before 1 a.m. on
Intense.
Wednesday, the 28th of December,
The
Andoo
first of two
Comanche was the
champions
first yacht
emerge
to cross the
as
finish
line
line of the
honours is
2022
decided
Rolex
in the
Sydney Hobart
77th
Yacht
edition
Race,
of the Rolex Sydney
stopping the
Hobart
clock
Yacht
at
Race.
AM 56.48. The
Ahead of the
100-foot
race,
maxi
the contest
completed the
between
nautical
4
mile course
immaculately
in a time
prepared
of 1
and
day,
professionally
11 hours,
crewed
56
100-foot
minutes,
maxes
48
to be the
seconds.
first boat to finish
It was an
was
impressive
highly
achievement
anticipated,
against committed
with all
opposition,
4 skippers
not just for the
determined
crew,
to come out
but
on
the boat
top.
itself.
All the boats are very similar in speed and performance. I'm expecting a really tight battle.
You know, downwind's our specialty. It'll be a very tricky race for all four boats.
We're really going for line honours in the race. We'd also love to be first out of the heads.
Second place will not do. It's win or nothing.
After a congested, action-filled start, the team on Andoo Comanche quickly regained their rhythm, and true to his word, John Winning Jr. set a searing pace, leading down the New South Wales coast and across the Bass Strait. One day, 11 hours, 56 minutes and 48 seconds after leaving Sydney, the experienced and talented crew completed the course, 26 minutes ahead of their closest rival Law Connect, runners-up for the second year in succession. Skipper John Winning Jr. accepted the J.H. Illingworth Challenge Cup to the cheers and support of friends, family and spectators who, despite the late hour, filled the race village in Hobart to celebrate the team's impressive achievement.
Since getting the boat, we just set our expectations on this race as the Everest of what we can achieve. Just amazing to be able to do it with my dad, with my friends, and obviously the icing on the cake of an amazing year.
Meanwhile, the race for the overall victory and the coveted Tattersall Cup continues to develop as the remainder of the fleet presses south in this enthralling challenge. Join us again for more updates from the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race.
A much happier Abhilish Tomy arrived at the Hobart Media Gate in the GGR and was welcomed by organiser Don MacIntyre. Abhilash set sail again at dawn the following day after a night of rest, preparation, and a call to his family, with the wind rotation to the west, which will push him at a good pace of 6 knots towards the Tasman Sea. He now is only 460 miles from Simon and 240 miles from Kirsten.
Welcome to... Good to see you. So, that looks like a nice beard.
Okay, thanks so much. Thanks so much.
Yeah. So...
I think somebody need to hike out on the other side.
Yeah, we got it. Oh, but we're not underwater yet. That's okay.
I think it's fine. You can probably leave the boat and...
you okay?
Yeah. On the other side.
Okay. So, it's just to explain to everyone, we're about 20 metres off the rocks and the lee shore, and we've got a northerlies now just turned up. Beautiful breeze for sailing, eh? And it wasn't here.
Well, I spent the best part of my youth trying to get into the Hobart Gate.
Yeah.
And I grew old waiting for breeze, and I got grey in my beard more than before. That's the story of my last 3 days.
I know, we were watching. Ours was only 8 hours, and I thought, oh, poor Abhilash, he's been here for bloody days. But anyway.
It's fine. But before we proceed with the interview, I want to apologize for my wonderfully rude behavior at...
Hey, look,
no, please. No, hold on, please. It's my thing. It's not about you.
Yeah.
I am a guy like that, but not in public.
No one was watching, it's okay.
And next time you see a sailor who's been stuck in a high for 3 days and who's been away from land for 50 days, don't shove a camera in front of his face and ask for his opinions.
Yep, don't worry, I know where you're coming from. You and I know each other, it's cool. Yeah,
so,
it's cool.
Okay, and this is for anybody who's heard the interview. I truly apologize, and I'm not like that in public. I'm like more civil and cordial.
Look, I put it down to, because we know each other. This is the GGR.
It's not right to do it on a public forum, especially when we're discussing something that's so close to your heart and mine. Because we both represent either side of GGR. You're that really mad chap who's trying to change sailing forever by introducing this sort of a race, and we are the other side where we are the mad guys who are going and doing it. So we should ideally be supporting, not putting across a point in such a way in a public forum.
Yeah, but Jane, put on me. the reality is, I'm the first one to know that the GGR is a mind game, and it's really tough, and it's really. So I appreciate what you're saying, and it's really.
It's worse than before. In the sense, 2018 there was no problem because we were getting updates from home.
Yeah.
Like I get one message from my wife, one voice message or text message. Even if it's like asking for some detail, I know things are fine.
Yeah.
And the fact is that when I'm at sea, I don't stop being a father or a husband, and I'm worried about home. And this time there's no news. But like I tell everybody, I know about the coup in Burkina Faso. I know about the male contraception drive in Uganda. I don't know what's happening at my own home.
Yeah, part of the GGR, anyway. But it's Let's talk about the GGR.
Okay, if you want to scratch a wound, let's start.
No. I mean your sailing experience. Forget about the GGR. You've just sailed from Cape Town to here, right? And what's your impressions? What's going on in your head? Because just talk to us about.
Okay,
this
first point is congratulations because you got the timing really right.
Yeah.
The front of the fleet, I think, has had some blows, but it's not like 2018 where it was spring and we had systems where you couldn't go south, you couldn't go north, you couldn't wait it out, you couldn't just do anything. But here we have some regularity in the. We got some regularity in the system, so I believe.
You're not allowed to touch the boat. You're not allowed to touch the boat. It's a $5,000 fine. Huh? Oh, gee,
what happened?
Someone's complaining about the drone, but anyway, that's fine. That's life. It's live.
Yeah.
So
I think that's one thing that really got right.
Yes.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And second is personally for me, I think.
No. It's a solo around the world yacht race. It's all under permit. It's all okay. Huh? This is all under permit. It's all okay. It's a solo around the world yacht race. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. It's all. Yeah. So anyway, they think you're Sydney Hobart. You're first one in. First one in for the Sydney Hobart.
Yeah, I'm the winner of this Sydney Hobart.
Anyway.
Right. So I'll tell you what. I mean, this port has a history. It's not cross Cape Town.
Yeah.
So it had a bit of a tantrum. Which came out through me probably. Anyway, and when I crossed that point where I had the accident, I felt very light. And that was a very, a very physical experience. I felt something leave me and, thing like that. And looking back, I realized that throughout the voyage, right from the start till that point, I had like my jaws were tight and my shoulders were tight or my thighs were tight. I was like crunching. But the moment I crossed that point, it just left me.
Cool.
I feel light.
Yeah.
And all the albatross babies reminding of my own baby, and the seals and all the trash reminding me of civilization.
Yeah. You saw a bit down there.
I'm sorry?
You saw a bit of trash.
Lots, much.
In the Southern Ocean.
40, maybe up to 45. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, 100%. And that too, big chunks, like this big chunk of plastic floating.
Yeah.
But the good thing is there's no barnacle on it. So probably whoever is throwing it is kind of coating it with anti-fouling and
maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. So that's cool. So
another thing, I saw flying fish at 41 degrees south.
Wow.
Yes, that's. I mean, seriously, some warm current is going real far down south.
Yeah.
And I saw albatross at 27 south, which is much earlier. I saw the white and brown albatross together at 27, which was a bit earlier.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, I've seen things change from the last 10 years.
Yeah, crazy. So just to remind people, you did a solo non-stop circumnavigation which year?
Exactly 10 years ago.
Exactly 10 years ago.
Yes, and
this season 10 years ago.
What?
This season 10 years ago.
Yes, New Year's I was at the International Dateline.
Oh yeah.
So I had 2 New Years. I was the first guy to welcome 2013, and then I crossed the line and said bye to 2012 again.
You did a circle.
Yes, and I rounded Cape Leuven on 12/12/2013, 2012, which was the last day of the Mayan calendar, and the world was supposed to end that day.
Ah, jeez. Too much thought going into that.
Yeah.
So when we're coming in, well, I couldn't quite hear, but we had a quick session. You had a couple of highlights coming in here with seals, penguins, albatross, dog.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I saw land, I think 2 days ago on Christmas 25th evening, and before the sunset. And then ever since I've been trying to get into Hobart.
Yeah.
And I was really tired, and this morning I kind of slept for another 10-15 minutes. During this time the breeze picked, and I was hallucinating that my wife was whispering something in my ears, and I was like kind of talking to her in this thing, and then my eyes opened, and then I ran out, and I see this huge wall of rock, and I'm going into it at 6 knots.
Whoa!
Barely, maybe 500 meters. So it's another 10 minutes of sleep, and I could have been a fixing mark.
Wow!
Yeah. So that's a real danger of not sleeping. And we as pilots are kind of introduced to it early on, but in sailing I experienced it for real.
Yeah.
And I saw that huge rock staring at me, and when I tag, I see dolphins jumping around me, and this is probably the second time I'm seeing dolphins in this entire trip.
Yeah.
So I see dolphins, I see seals, I see albatrosses, and some other sort of birds flying. It is beautiful, wonderful, and whenever you search for any pictures of Storm Bay on the internet, it's that rock that you see, and I saw it in all its glory with the sun shining on it, and it was incredible.
There were no high fives, just professional satisfaction today out in Palma, as the INEOS Britannia team took flight without assistance. On board the silver-liveried LEQ-12, and very quickly, the multi-gold medalists, Sir Ben Ainslie and Giles Scott, had her rocketing at 30 knots.
Ben Ainslie, she flies. Tell us about the day on the water, first flight for the boat. Must have been amazing.
Yeah, it was nice to get the boat up out of the water. It was a beautiful day for it here in Palma. We had some good breeze. We managed to work the boat through some more systems checks and then get it up foiling, which was nice. We were still plenty to work through on the system side of things, which was causing us a few delays and a few issues. But that will come. I think it's easy to forget just how complex these boats are, the systems that go into them. And we've clearly taken a different step with this boat, and it's taken us a while to work through that, but we'll get there.
Now, I know the team back in the UK. Could you hear a cheer over your headset as you went into the air?
No, but I'm sure there probably were a few little fist pumps going around. It's been, as we talked about, it's been a big step combining America's Cup with Formula One, and so for a lot of those engineers getting their heads around what goes into a boat like this, getting the systems operating, and then getting it up to the point of flying. It was a good step forwards for the team, but clearly a long way to go to get the boat fully operational.
What would you say you're feeling about control of the boat this first time flying? It's possibly not as smooth as it would be after a few turns. Can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah. So the positioning of the boat or the operation capability of the boat is not where it needs to be currently. So we're working through that. We've got a good squad on it, and we'll get there. But we need to get that squared away before we then go into some other testing protocols and testing schedules that we've got through, all the way through till next summer. So, it's a good step to get the boat foiling, and then, like I said, then working through this testing schedule.
Bit of a delay at the end, and then we came in perhaps earlier than I was imagining. Was there a problem with the boat? Was it one of those technical issues you've just been talking about?
Yeah, we had a system setback which ended the day early for us, which was a shame because it's great conditions. But that said, we've certainly taken a huge amount from the last couple of days sailing in terms of, like I said, particularly in the systems area, what we need to fine-tune to get the boat fully operational.
Just final question. I think there was more than 4 of you on the boat today. Possibly the boat captain was on there to keep an eye on things. Can you talk through the people who were sailing the boat? Who was doing what? Who was trimming what at various stages?
Yeah, so we had Ian Jensen and Luke Parkinson, so they're doing flight control and a bit of trimming, and then Giles and myself are helming and doing a bit of trimming. And we also had Bledin Mon on board the boat, who's one of our key sort of trimmer stroke aero guys and works heavily in the design group as well. So he was keeping an eye on the sails, systems and trim. So it's nice if we can to take a fifth person on board the boat just to give feedback to the technical group, and also keep an eye out, especially these early days with the boat, keep an eye out, see if there's anything that's potentially causing us an issue that because we're heads down sailing the boat we potentially missed. So yeah, it's a good squad, and we've got a great sailing squad here, so we'll start rotating sailors around a bit now that we're up and running.
If the boat can be ready for tomorrow, will you go again tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we're probably, most likely we won't sail tomorrow, so that's probably the end of our sailing, going into the Christmas period. But big job list to work on, and like I say, take the boat to the next step and starting to get manoeuvres in and moving forwards.
Well, a nice early Christmas present. Hope the team have a great Christmas break and New Year, and we'll see you in the New Year.
Yeah, well, likewise, and likewise to everyone watching. Have a good Christmas and all the best for the New Year. Thanks.
Team Malaysia have released their official trailer for the upcoming edition of the Ocean Race. We will keep track of them and find out the full crew that will embark on this incredible adventure.
The Ocean Race. Starting Alicante, Spain, 15th of January 2023.
To achieve things with each other that you could never imagine.
Team adventure.
Adventure of a lifetime.
Be there.